Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to the Last Epoch dev stream. As always, I am your host, Mike. Hello. How's it going? And we finally remembered to make ourselves a bow mage. Pew, pew, pew. So we're playing bow mage today. As we've been doing for the last few weeks, I've been going through just some fun builds to play, and today's bow mage. It's pretty bonkers the amount of damage it pumps out, and I think I've unlocked some worthy content. I don't have any of my blessings finished yet, so I'm comically weak on the blessings front. So we're gonna go and grab our cold shred from Age of Winter. And I'm tempted to try Empowered, but the only problem is that I still have terrible resistances. And I feel like I'm just gonna get bopped. But we'll try it. Why not, right? If this is your first time here, as always, we are streaming for charity, so we're still on Team Oceans today. This is our last stream for this charity. Next week will be on our new charity because it'll be a new month. And if you have any questions for me, please feel free to put at Last Epoch Game in the questions so I see it in chat. Loud and clear. And if you want to see the build that I'm playing, !build in chat will get you that too. It's quite hot out there, so please drink lots of water. Thank you very much! Simonic98 gives it a tier 1 sub too. Silent Life Wheel. Thank you very much. Just want to say you love our game. Thank you. That's awesome. I love it when people come to say they like our game. Oh. It's going to take me a few minutes to get the keys right. Get my fingers under me, so to speak. Oh, let's turn on a loot filter here as well. I made one for this. Bow mage. There we go. And just a quick little on the gear we're using here. This is a build by Lizard. The key to this build is Reign of Winter. With the icicle, we're just basically making as many icicles as we can. Air Guard's a nice piece. We're going to try and make this into legendary during the stream. And Morning Frost gives us a bunch of damage too. It wrecks our cold res and fizz res though, so we're working to get that up as best we can. It is hot here. It's very hot. We'll see if I can survive this. It looks like I might not be doing quite enough damage consistently. I'd be fine though. I feel like I'm a little low on the old attack speed. May have been because I was watching Lizard's video at 2x speed, so I just think it's low. Also, next week, this minor announcement here, I'll say this again before the end of the stream. My goodness. Thank you very much to whoever that was. I'll get to that in a second so I don't die. Oh, that was the whole thing. Nice. Thank you very much. Votanos. 5 months in a row. Very nice. Very nice. Thank you very much. Glad to have you here. Hope you're enjoying yourself. Yeah, we want to get attack speed if we can on that bow. If we can find an exalted bow with attack speed on it, that would be really nice. Yeah, let's go this way. Yes, the title is wrong. I'm sorry. Oh, I forgot to change it. I'm not going to restart it now. Yes, the title is wrong. I was doing Spellblade last week. We're doing Bow Mage this week. Came so close to getting everything done for this. Got the build set up. Got the Nightbot command set up. We just can't hit everything. Oh yeah, Avalanche will really mess me up right now. So we use flurry for single target with multi-shot as a proc, and then it's even good just. I don't know, flurry might be better right now for us. Denning arrow does a ton of damage though. I guess it depends how people are set up. Just love triggering skills. Yep. There's something special about it, isn't there? Is that it? We got something else. We got something else, don't we?
Not happening.
Oh yeah, sorry. So yeah, next week we've got a special stream. You may see a banner at the top. Is the banner readable? It's so tiny in my like preview window that I can't see it, but I hope it is. So I'm gonna have our lore master
Not happening.
on stream with me tomorrow. Not tomorrow, next week. The heat's getting to me already. And so we'll have a special guest next week on stream where we'll be fielding all the lore questions that I fail to answer every stream and the people can ask them. So if you have any lore questions, or know anyone that's had lore questions that didn't get them answered, if you can send them to me and I will write them down just to give them a little heads up on what style of things are going to be answered. We will be taking live questions as well. Just wanted to seed the question pool a little bit so we have stuff to talk about right away when we get started. See any cool lore questions? Love to hear them. I will write them down. I won't answer them today because I'm not great at that. We do have a question here. Are you planning on making more high-level items which can trigger skills? And they're a very fun type of item to build around. I mean, yeah, we're like planning on building tons more items in every sort of category. So yes, and we definitely know that is a popular category for things like that too. So. I mean, I can't give you specifics on when certain items will get certain triggered things or anything like that, but yeah. We definitely recognize those are popular items. And we like to make things that you like to play with, so yeah. This is an empowered monolith, and I have 0 blessings. Because I thought that would be a good idea. My gear's decent, but there's no legendaries and no exalteds.
Not happening.
I was prepping for this, and I noticed I was looking at Blizzard's build video or build guide, which that new section of Last Epoch Tools site for build guides I think is going to be really great. Like. Needs to be some more fleshed out on there, but I think once we get online and there's we're into like the next patch, we'll start getting some more guides, and it'll be a really nice repository for sites for guides in general. And I noticed on there he said Khan's high skill cap or something like that. I'm like, well, that rules me out, doesn't it? Resist cold damage ain't no match for me no matter what. So most of our guild gear is focused around adding dexterity and dexterity. There's some dexterity in there too. Goes with Morning Frost. Gives damage from dexterity. You have no idea what the lore is of the game? I mean, there's some major beats we can hit. We are also in the process of updating a lot of the way we present lore. And some of that's just as basic as like new chat dialogues. The new chat dialogue looks awesome, and like just basic stuff like the font that's used, you know. And there's a lot of really simple stuff that will help a lot. And then on top of that, we're also like adding new features. So we've recently started adding in like dialogue box or dialogue snippets, like voice snippet things you can pick up and it'll like talk to you. Other things like that. Oh, welcome everyone from Lizard's stream. You may recognize this build I'm playing. Thank you, Master Sword 1291, 15 months in a row. Pew, pew, pew. Yes, Lizard, you are actually getting a lore stream, and yes, I'm a dirty thief. At least the exclamation mark build actually links directly to your build guide. Which I skimmed, you know. I'm probably not doing it justice. Feel free to correct me. I'm doing very well, thank you. Quiet. If you if you have like a document, if you've got a lot of them, you can just send them to me on Discord if you want. But if you just got one or two, anyone, you're welcome to just post them in chat, and I'll just copy them into a little document I've started here. You got like 10. All right, well you'll seat us nicely for next week. Perfect. Yeah, and like I said earlier, we will be taking live questions as well, but I just wanted to have some prepared ones as well. Give them a chance so we can start things off and have things right out of the gate to talk about. Oh my god, it's hot. Drink lots of water, everybody. I don't know if it's hotter than usual wherever you live, but it is hotter than usual here. And to be fair, all that really means is it's like an average March day in where places where it actually gets hot. We're on the lookout for an exalted quiver, an exalted... I should put the filter on to like just really make those stand out. An exalted quiver, an exalted bow, or an exalted pair of boots to make a legendary out of. While we try and power through this this monolith here. Oh, that's spicy. One of my favorite parts about this build is the amount of movement slowing effects that get applied. So it applies so many movement slowing effects that things kind of just don't move very fast. It's quite nice. Oh, I need a fan or something. Just. This is the Gloomhaven little comic that comes in Jaws of the Lion. Great game. Attack speed seems a little overkill. I mean, Flurry just attacks really fast anyways. I didn't think it would be quite this powerful into empowered monoliths without like proper build setup. But Lizard makes a good build. Okay, I'll use detonating arrow. It's less attack speed. Still pretty good. Sorry, Lizard, I killed you. Did any of the team get into Lost Ark? Yeah, a couple people dove into Lost Ark. I didn't take the dive myself, unfortunately. Lots of gorgeous skills in there. My goodness. It's got a few like key gameplay differences, I think, that set it apart, but definitely good good amount of similarities to us as well. All the builds do this in regular empowered, unless I make them. Aww. Truth hurts. You know, it's early, but is you thinking about some race event for 9-0? Ow, Ember Mages. Always painful. We don't have anything planned yet for it. We're still in the make it work category. Alright, you're gonna ask a very subjective and quantifiable question. Interesting. What do you guys consider a good chase unique? Players view differ from devs' expectations, so curious how you bridge that gap or compromise. Llama, I think he meant 0.9.0 first of all. Okay, a good chase unique. That's a great question, and it's really hard to nail down exactly what that is. And I think there's a lot of conflicting, like, a good chase unique needs to have this thing, but it also needs to have this thing, and it can't have both, or you have to like balance in between the two. There's a lot of compromises that come with it. So having something be, I guess, we're gonna define it right now. I don't actually know. I haven't thought about this in a while. Good chase unique should, I guess, by definition, be something that is not ultra easy to get. So something that does require chasing, and something that has a reason to be chased. I guess those are the two main things. So that reason to be chased, I guess, can be lots of different things. Generally, I would say it's likely a very powerful item. I think that they should be rare. There's lots of terms that get thrown around, like build enabling. And I think in general, chase uniques should probably not be enabling, but maybe empowering might be a better word for it. So like if, like this bow that I'm using right now, it's pretty easy to get this bow, and it enables this build. Having a like 4 LP version of it is definitely a chase thing because it's hard to get, but it's not necessary to have a 4 LP version of the bow to make this build work. So I think that's a good distinction for what it should be. Maybe another good example is something that will make a build significantly better. So like you can make a build that maybe say there was a different Rain of Winter bow that did basically the same thing, except it cast 3 icicles instead of 1 icicle, you know, and like greater Rain of Winter, I don't know. And so you could find Rain of Winter pretty easily, and then greater Rain of Winter would be something that's really difficult to find, and makes the build push to new heights. The build works without it, but then you get this chase item and it works even better. I think that's the type of power chase that I'd like to see in most chase items, personally. I think I'd want to put some more thought into it before putting like a stamp on it, you know. But the two key things I think is with a chase unique is that it needs to be a reason to be chased, and be chaseable. So like something that you want to get but can't just snag super easy. But it is possible to get. If that makes any sense. Is there a big difference in how players would define chase uniques from that? I'll move on and come back to this. Do you guys intend to release any new item type, like new weapon type or offhand, until 1.0? Probably not before 1.0. I don't think so. I mean, probably not. Like base item types. So like we introduced bows a little while back and quivers a little while back. I'm sure we'll introduce new subtypes. So like maybe a new base bow that's not a, I don't know. We are changing a lot of implicit items, implicit stats on basically every melee weapon. Is getting their implicit item stats changed. And for the most part, it's just removing the damage type from that item. So things that were once like plus 20 melee physical damage, just say plus 20 melee damage. There's other tweaks coming with that as well. Alright. Ragnar Poe. First time chat. I've been watching streamer House play this game for 2 weeks now. He enjoyed the Last Epoch. His main complaint was the end game. Every time you reach level 100 monolith, his build took a lot of damage compared to the last normal monolith. He stopped playing last night because of that. Is level 86, for example, too much for level 100 content in this game? It seems that there's a lot of defensive stat focus on, and there was another complaint he had. Yeah, I mean, level 86 and level 100 content, that's a pretty big gap in any game, right? Like, you're... Like, that's a pretty big gap. There's not a lot of like intrinsic. So there. I don't guess I want to make this clear. There's not a lot of power gained in those last 14 levels. However, the content is assuming that you've played enough content that you've got gear that would be associated with a character at level 100. So a lot of people would be like, oh, my level 85 can do level 100 content. Partially that's often because they've got gear from other characters that they've brought over. So it's like level 100 quality gear. And that's the same sort of thing. Like that happens in all sorts of games. So like you can like beat Diablo Chaos Tristram with a paladin at level 20 something, even though that's arguably level like 110 content. But because you've got gear that's farmed so nicely, it works. Even though it's low level gear, it's high quality low level gear, if that makes any sense. I think it's the same sort of thing. So hopping into level 100 content severely under leveled without proper preparation, yeah, is generally going to be really tough. Likely, I would say he probably had more normal monoliths that could be completed to gear up better as well. I don't know. It's strange because we do get a lot of feedback that that some people really want to jump into more powerful monoliths quicker, and some people really want and some people really find that the jump between normal and empowered is way too hard. I find the dichotomy interesting. I don't know if there's something we can do to there probably is something we can do to make the experience better for both players. And I'm not sure what that is right now. Should be going this way. Will area in Monolith and campaign eventually get randomized like in PoE or Diablo? Oh, like the level layout. It's possible that we might start adding randomized level layout systems to the game. There aren't any in development right now specifically. We started some with like randomizing your starting placement has helped a little bit, but for a lot of very experienced players, it's essentially the same thing as it was before. There's definitely room for improvement in that category. I think there's also room for, and this is probably easier to implement, is having small offshoot zones that are randomly placed and possibly randomized once you get into them. I'd say that's more likely to happen first, but none of it's really in development right now, so I can't really say like this is coming or anything like that.
Not happening.
Let's get out of here. Oh, let me out. Oh, release game please in beta for 5,000. Yes. It'll take a long time to say yes 5,000 times. I mean, we'll release it when it's ready. Releasing it early would be extremely detrimental. I like the idea of unique items that modifies builds. I always think Cloak of the Undead came from Heroes. You say Heroes and I'm like, Heroes Might Magic? I assume you mean Heroes of the Storm. I don't know what item that is, I'm sorry.
Easy.
Oh, it's a nice hat. Oh yeah, I was gonna add a rule, recolor, let's make it purple. It's gonna be exalted. And it's gonna have an item type of a boots, quiver, or bow. We're just gonna let's just make all of those purple. Wait, they're already purple, aren't they? Let's make all of them green. This sort of. Good job, Mike. Will characters be wiped from multiplayer servers when 1.0 hits? That's not the plan right now. If there's a problem and we have to do it, it's possible, but it's not the plan. We're planning on starting a new cycle at 1.0, so existing multiplayer characters from the early access will go into a standard league or standard cycle style system, where they're not on the ladder, and a new cycle will start. And then players can compete on the ladder together on even playing field. So people who are like, I don't want to play until it's fully released, get a similar experience to people who have been playing in the early access. But if you do stuff in the early access and you don't care about the ladder at all, you can just keep playing your character. we think it's, and all these things might change if like something major shows up and we're like, oh, we didn't think of that. Crap, we have to fix it now. But we think that what that does is it's sort of the best compromise we can for everyone, where people who really don't want to waste time on something but do want to play now can still keep their characters. All right. Punch is a very overpowered modifier, and that made me feel bad. Yeah, that's a good point. There are a lot of modifiers in Monolith that are deceptively difficult, and like initial, without checking what they are, you can get into a situation that's really, it feels more like a level 120 zone instead of a level 100 zone. It's very simple how to fix the difficulty issues in the jump to empowered. Shift the difficulty from mods to corruption. Yeah, we've talked about this before. New players take deadly and rage and percent damage mods, and empowered gets one shot and frustrated because they don't understand the game. Yeah, I think it's really
Easy. Too easy.
I think you're right. That does save the player from themselves a lot. I don't know if that's the best way to handle it yet. I know we've been talking about this sort of thing. We're undecided on what we're gonna do about it. But that is a solution, I agree. And it might be the best solution. Who knows? All right. Whoop. Ow. That's my face, bud. What's going on? God dang it.
Easy.
I just want to stop to read chat, but I'm gonna die if I do. I just aggro someone new. I guess I should move away. There we go. Alright, let's do. Is there any way to avoid getting killed before the level loads in the final map of the arena? I'm always taking damage before the screen loads. This is a bug in the not the infinite arena, but the limited arena and the boss room. We do have something in place to not take damage when you first load in, and for whatever reason it's not set up in that zone properly. Oh, it's just a bug. I'm pretty sure we've got it fixed. Is the gear going to matter at release? Yes. And how does Last Epoch plan on dealing with monetization with the way games are going nowadays? Well, our monetization plan hasn't changed in the last 5 years, or whenever we started this thing, 4 years. And that's to have a single sticker price for the initial purchase of the game, and that will unlock all of the content for you forever. So the any expansions to like new zones or new monoliths or new mechanics or things like that, that'll all just be like everyone who has the game gets it, gets to keep it, gets all the updates. And then very strictly cosmetic only microtransactions for cosmetics and cosmetic only stuff. I don't know how many times I have to say cosmetic in that sentence, just to be clear. But like we already have a rough overview of the. This is actually completely changed now, but this is kind of just to show that this is sort of the style of thing we're planning, where you can change the way your gear looks, and change the way some skill effects happen and things like that. And there's already some pets, so we can. Where's a pet that people have easily? Look at this guy. So yeah, we have, and these are some pets that come with the supporter packs at the start of the game right away. I know mine looked weird, that there were some that you shouldn't be able to unlock without not unlocking the other ones, but that's because it was an account used for testing. But yeah, it's very strictly cosmetic only. So, like, for example, and I want to be clear that I think that games that I'm not trying to disparage any game by saying this, but like we're not going to charge for stash tabs, for example, because I would say that's a convenience thing. So that's not a cosmetic thing. We charge in-game gold for stash tabs, and you can't buy in-game gold with real money. So you have to earn your stash tabs in the game. And I think, like, the obvious comparison there is Path of Exile, and I think the big difference there is Path of Exile doesn't have a sticker price. So yeah, we're sticker price that's lower than the average high quality game that comes out, which I think we're making a high quality game. It's our goal, it's our plan. Yeah.
Not.
You did mean Heroes 3. Wow. Okay, yeah, it sounded familiar. Absolutely love Heroes 3. Did you ever play the Wake of the Gods expansion? Or like the fan-made expansion for it? Oh, so good. Oh, so good. I've actually been dabbling a little bit recently in there, yeah. I always play Castle. Sometimes Rampart. Sometimes Complex. Not a huge Necropolis fan. I always find it awkward. You start raising basic skeletons, and you've got your skeletons upgraded, and your army size doesn't quite work because you don't have room for the basic skeletons to show up. You gotta like just leave zombies at home, and the zombies suck, but they're meat shields. Yeah, Cloak the Undead King lets you raise liches instead of skeletons by default. Yeah. That's nice. Do they ever do like the upgraded liches? What are they called? Lich lords? That's the wrong word. Oh, it is hot. I am like, wow. I'm sweating a lot here. My goodness. Woo! The headset's real warm. Do you guys now have any plans for changes to set items? No, or at least are preparing any meaningful balance changes to them in general. I mean, yeah, like they're on the radar. We want to work on them. We've been busy doing other stuff. Haven't got to it yet.
Not happening.
Don't have any concrete plans I can share, but yes, they're on the radar. They're on the list. The list is long. They're on it. If a player gets a mod that increases damage by 100%, they rage quit. If the mod only increases 20%, they go that hurt. That was that. Reads and learns, and then the same mod is deadly when you're at 500 corruption because 20% of the base type would be no joke. I don't have counterpoints to debate you on this, Lizard. I don't think you're wrong. I think you are very right on how that would work. Has there been progress on how much you guys are going to value MTX per piece, or the armor set to buy, or is it still market research or talking? Asked because Vision GL Turnings gives points. Don't know how much people can really get with 500 points, so some clarification would be nice. Yeah, the numbers don't really say much right now. They're kind of like it's an amount, it's some nebulous amount. I wish I had a good answer for you. I don't. I'm sorry.
Not happening.
Hi there! Are some challenge modes already, but is there any plan to implement something similar to not yet released PoE hard mode? Very limited item drops, limited or disabled crafting, etc. Yeah, I think that's a little bit later on type thing. We've definitely looked at stuff like that, and when you have an extremely large community, it's a lot easier to split that community and still have like a competitive landscape in those splits. So at least initially, I think it's unlikely we'd have something like that. But I do think there's a lot of really interesting things that happen there, and I do love that they did that. So I think there's a good chance that that sort of thing happens eventually. I'd say unlikely in the first little bit. We already toy with like masochist mode and things like that, which is it's a pretty simplistic version, which started as a joke, but we kept around because people do like it.
Not happening.
Ooh, a temporal sanctum key. Maybe we'll go do one of those. Probably should have waited for my mana to regen. Woohoo! I'm a little shy on the mana regen here. Not terrible. I know Lizard's build had him up at 17 or 18, I think, and I'm at 15 or 16.
Not happening.
Can you currently upgrade support packs? I don't think we have support pack upgrades still. I don't know what's the hold up there. There's some problem with it. It required things to be done, I know, manually for a long time, and then we weren't able to do it at all. Oh, Exalted. Are there other Exalted ones we could go for? Really just want to get that stability up. So furthest away from the center is going to do that the best. Let's go for that experience node. You're all in and have been with you guys since the beginning. Awesome! Cool. Glad to have everybody with us. Has there been I don't know if I missed it, if there were people who had lore questions. I know Quiet's got a lot. But if you have lore questions, please feel free to send those over and I will write them down for next week. Or if anyone's watching this after the fact and wants to submit them, you could submit them in Ask the Devs channel in Discord. Or you can just come to next stream with the questions. Either way is fine. If you want a question answered but can never get to the streams on time, toss it up and Ask the Devs before next Friday, and I will add to the list. I don't know if it's just because I'm playing your build right now, Lizard, but I see a lot of enemies like of the Lizard right now. I find it funny. It's coincidence. Will it be possible to enhance set items in the same way we can turn uniques into legendaries, or is it going to be too much? The big problem with that is how, I don't have a good example because I don't have any set items on me right now, but how long those item names are already. Like those descriptions, they're just a novel to read as it is, and then you stick even more things on them like that, and they just get even longer. We've prototyped, or like rough prototypes, not actually built into the game. A few ways of enhancing the tail on set item power, and there's a few different systems we've sort of toyed with.
Not happening.
I think it's likely we'll do something with it. I don't know what that'll be yet. Get away from me. No. No. You don't flurry anymore, you go full... Oh. You go full detonating arrow, eh? Teach me, senpai. You're right, it's exactly, I am having mana problems. You're extremely hyped for mana damage, melee damage changes on weapons. However, are we going to get more conversions and skills benefit from them? We need more ways to add and remove tags from skills to make use of it. Is that on the radar? I'll give you a full void multi-strike, please. I think there's, given this happening, there's probably going to be some more of that happening. Quiet, I'm sorry, I'm not going to read that right now. But yes, not the question you did in chat, but the question you sent me on Discord. As far as more items that give full conversions, I can't say for sure. Specifically full multi-strike, I can't. We'll see. It definitely does mean having more. How does this? Having the items. You're right. The premise of your question is absolutely right. Having more items that don't have specific damage types on their added flat damage means that conversions, full conversions, are much more effective. My goodness. So it's definitely on the radar.
Easy. Too easy.
Oh, sorry. Got a little sucked into the game there. My goodness, it is hot. Ooh. Okay, new question here. Do you feel unique items based around certain skills are too limited for the Theory Crafter? I know something of Cindersong can only be played on the mage, while something like Volcanus, which is more generalized, can be theory crafted on every class. I feel this is very limited when playing long term because you learn the skill specific ones very fast, while generalized ones can be calculated for longer. So curious if you agree, there's still huge value in skill specific ones. I think there's a huge value in both of them, and I think having both of them is really important. Specifically because you can generally do a little bit more wacky stuff on the more specific ones, because the more generalized ones usually have to be like, well, we can't do this because it gets a little nutty on this skill, and then you have to like do something to rule out that skill or nerf the whole thing so that one skill becomes where it's just useful and everywhere else it's kind of meh. So I think there's plenty of space for both. We may have become too focused on skill specific ones. I think it's easier to do skill agnostic, is that the term? Skill agnostic, skill independent is probably a better word for it. Versions on like we do class specific items, so we can say like a bow, and do cool stuff there, because then suddenly only a rogue can use it, or even just like a base type like a specific rogue specific helmet. So you can make like restrictions that way to do nuttier things. You can also do there's lots of different ways we can restrict the combinations of things that can exist, and that's usually a big consideration when we're making unique items, is what else could this go with that would be busted. And like really busted is the problem when it's like the only way to do something. Are you guys considering adding something to attunement every other stat? Yeah, this is a question we get a fair bit, and no, but maybe. Every other stat gives damage and defense, while attunement gives... I mean, every stat gives damage. While attunement gives a bit of mana and damage. Because they all give damage. Right? What am I doing? They all give damage. This one... yeah, the mana it gives is its only like base thing, but they all give damage to their respective skills, right? Like, this is ward retention and damage. Like, dexterity is dodge rating and damage, right? So this one's it's attunement is damage and utility instead of damage and defense. I don't think endurance. I hear you saying on endurance threshold. I don't think it's on theme at all. Like maybe it needs something different. Maybe mana's not good enough as a stat for it, but it does also give damage, just for the record. Okay, so listen, that's a good point. It's the damage not being the enticing part of the stat, and I think that's the problem with the system. Is the damage needs to be more enticing in general. That comes from attributes, which is also part of the problem with why gear is less provides less damage than a lot of skill nodes as well. Like, it's not just in the skill nodes that are overpowered, but it's also in that gear's underpowered in a lot of cases, and part of that comes from the lackluster amount of damage that comes from attribute stats. Oh hey, a bow! Oh hey, boots! We can make legendaries out of those. Sneak peeks? Yeah, I got one. I got one ready for you. If I complete something or die, like something significant or die, I'll share it. I'll share it with you. Which, given how the damage is creeping up on this that I'm taking, I think die might be sooner than I'd like. Lore question. Heyo. I will save this for copy. Come on. Paste. I'm gonna save who asked it too. Multiplayer, yes, no. It's we're just finished up our most recent CT test, like an hour ago or something. And yeah, we're gonna be making changes, making new builds, advancing that. So we're still in closed testing for multiplayer at the moment. That's coming along really nicely. The important stuff that we were hoping to get tested this round went really well. The stuff that we were like, oh, I hope this works, worked, which is great. All right. Paladin and Druid stack attunement for the most part. They both get endurance threshold themes within their passive tree. So here's why I think it's not a theme for attunement. Yeah, okay, that is a good point for sure. I guess the way we thought of attunement is more of a like caster ability, and it's less of a traditional caster and more of a like natural caster type ability, which does tend to lend itself nicely to oh, hey, one LP Beast King, that's pretty cool. Which does lend itself, which like, yeah, Sentinel and Primalist are the two primaries for that. But I guess like the way I've always thought about it is attunement as a caster stat and endurance as a more of a melee stat, and like you're talking really broad archetypes. I guess that's where the difference in that I've always had in my head comes from.
Not happening.
All right. Lore question. Cool. Paste that in. Oh, don't die. It's gonna be like try and get Mike killed by submitting lore questions. So he copies and pastes them. Don't do that. Or do that. So I want more questions. You know what I'm realizing? I'm a little dehydrated. Oh! Oh! Womp womp. Yeah, come on. We've announced quite a while ago actually that we were pushing this patch quite a bit. Initially, we had planned it to be somewhere roughly September-ish, there and abouts, because we were trying to fit a whole bunch of multiplayer development work in. And then we realized that we were actually close enough with multiplayer that we could make the next patch the multiplayer patch. So we pushed it even further. So one major misconception there is that when we say it was roughly somewhere in and around September-ish, and we push it past that, it'll be the first thing in October. That's not what we're saying at all. We don't have a date for it yet. Hydration would have saved you from the heat of the flame spike. It probably would have. I'm struggling. Oh, server's still on. Oh gosh. Turn that off. It didn't turn off. Hurt it with her foot. Come on, shut down. There it goes. Okay. Oh, it's probably adding like 5 degrees to this room. Can you tell us about Lost Memories? What can you tell us about Lost Memories, and why do you think it's a good idea that they're included in 0.9? Well, if they were completed, I think it would be an amazing idea to appear in 0.9, because it would be an extra system for players to play with and get feedback on. Can't really tell you much about them. Partially because it's probably going to change a ton from what we've had planned for a long time before they actually get in. This is a cool item. This is a really cool item. It's a really cool item. Thanks for confirming Last Memories at 0.9. You know, sometimes things like that get posted. I'm like, did I just actually do that? Do I have to go back and rewatch this to make sure I didn't just say that? But I'm pretty sure I didn't just say that. I'm definitely not using my self-metry defensive abilities anywhere near enough. Okay, we're gonna go do this boss. We're gonna get a blessing. Then we're gonna go make a legendary item. It's gonna be sweet. And I'm not gonna pass out from the heat. It like hits 30 and I'm just exhausted with heat. Since favor systems is going to be a thing, what other chances the favor system is the favor of the gods? Depending on which god you gain favor, which determines buff or reward. Tell me why I am correct in my predictions. Trying to find a way to weasel out of this one. From how it's worded, I don't know if I can though. I don't see a way out. This was a smart one to go to.
This is a mercy. Shut up. Do not stand in my way. This is a mercy. Do not stand in my way. Shut up. This is a mercy.
Oh no!
Do not stand in my way.
It's like panic.
Behold,
Health potted.
rage of winter. Shut up.
Oh no! No!
Rise
I knew it was coming, and I just dashed the other way.
Aid me.
Oh, Mike, why do you suck so much at this? Do we go make a legendary that maybe has cold res on it somewhere? I think that's the play. Blizzard killed you just like Diablo. Yeah. Oh, okay, let's try and get something like cold res. We are short on void res too. Let's just stick dexterity. Oh, we should probably stick move speed on here. Let's switch this to something else first because we don't want to. Well, 2 minutes is useful, I guess. Go move speed. Cool. It's not a great exalted to make for the bow at all. So we're gonna go do boots. Yeah, I'm gonna come back to this because I don't think I'm quite tough enough. Because that blizzard was extreme. What level do we need? Oh, it's a super low level. Yeah, we can probably do this one anyways. Is there a new patch? Something? No, there's no new patch yet. Just playing around, answering some questions, having some fun.
More rats come to gnaw at the edges of my
Does it require extra work to maintain multiplayer version and offline version? Well, I mean, so it was costing us more work to do that for a while. One of the big things we've done over the last couple months is to combine them into a single version. So we're not maintaining 2 versions for offline and online. So you can, like, it's a single client for both. Previously, what we were doing is we were maintaining a release build that was going out to everyone. And this is part of the reason why we pushed the release initially quite a while back, is because we were making that combine happen. So up until this point, we'd been maintaining both versions for well over a year now, and it was slowing things down. Because every time we made changes in one, we basically had to make changes in the other. That's not really how it worked, but effectively. And so now we don't have to do that because it's just one version, and the release builds we make will be just the normal version, just the game. That looks like one of the exits. Have I just not killed enough things to see it? Oh, they're far away. Oh, I said I had something to share with you because I died. Okay, well, as soon as we're done this, I'll share it. Sorry. It's a full screen thing, so I don't want to do it in the middle of this. So yeah, we're not maintaining 2 versions anymore, which is great. Here we go. Yeah, 20%'s fine. In multiplayer, is there any reviving system? Not right now. Also, is there any punishment on death, gold drops, or anything? No. We're not a big fan, just philosophically in general, of taking away things you've already achieved on death.
How is this possible?
So, gold that you've already got, experience that you've already got, things like that. We don't like removing those from you that you've already been like, here's something that you've got sitting in your inventory. Oh, you died. We're gonna take it away. No, it's more about the death penalties we generally try and put in place are similar, like the ones like we already have. So if you die in like a dungeon, for example, you lose the key that you've already you've already used it to gain access to the dungeon. So like, you're not losing anything that you had. You've already spent the key, but you're losing the potential of the reward you would have got if you had succeeded. So the penalty is just you didn't succeed at the thing you were trying to do. That's the same in like the monolith, for example. So if you die on an echo, that special that echo specific reward, you don't get that. That goes away. And because that doesn't have a cost to enter, that reward is gone and isn't like you don't. If you try that again, you don't get that reward. Yeah. Yeah, that's the sort of philosophy we're planning on sticking with going forward too. And then obviously on hardcore, you die, you're dead. Bye bye. See you later. Better luck next time. Do I have like a perma-crit node on? I do have always crit shrine. Why am I just wrecking everything?
I will have its power.
Not happening.
One. Yep, 30%'s fine. Oh. Here's a question. One of the reasons I like multi-strike is the fact that its range AoE scales with weapon range. Does EHE have any plans to make all skills scale somewhat, even if it's minuscule with weapon range? Maybe add an AoE ratio stat for spellcaster builds. Adds an extra dimension, super enjoyable for veterans that new players don't need to worry about. Any thoughts? I do think that having things in that category for like here's a stat that people who like you're playing through the game the first time, you get into empowered monoliths for the first time, and you're playing through those. You're not really pushing super high corruption. You're not pushing super high arenas, and like you're getting through the like 99% of the content or whatever. Like stats that most of those players don't know about, and don't need to know about. But like people who are like you, Lizard, who are playing a lot and know a lot, getting like really the finer points of there, I think are really cool. Just from a high level look at it. And there's lots of really good examples of things like that in Diablo 2, for example.
I will have it. Escape is impossible. Sapphire waters.
Ran out of mana.
Escape is impossible. Maggots.
Is that health potion sitting there? I want it. It's mine by right.
Possible.
Get it.
Still so much to learn.
Oh. That's pretty cool. Yeah, as far as the weapon range specifically, sorry, I just glanced over half your question there, Lizard. As far as weapon range specifically goes, for affecting skills, I think it's good that some do and some don't. I do like the idea though of AoE stat scaler for spellcaster builds. I think that's a really cool idea. I don't think I've heard that before. So I think that's neat. teaser now that Aaron's here. I mean, that's I can't pretend that's why I'm gonna do it, but yes, I will. I will pop up a teaser pretty soon here. Yeah. It's not terrible. Might be worth crafting on. Okay, we're just gonna make some boots though, I think. Yeah? I know the attunement's weird. That health be nice, the void red's be nice. Move speed's always good. Let's see what we get. Def teaser time, yes, yeah. Only Vengeance and Multi-Strike are the only ones to do it as of right now. Interesting. I would have thought more would do that. Rive doesn't do that? I guess Rive wouldn't. Swipe probably doesn't. I'm surprised something like Flurry doesn't. Mana Strike does? Okay. That makes sense. I'm not upset about that health roll on there at all. That's nice. That is that's a wait a second. Did I put the one from my inventory and not my better ones? Awesome. Awesome. Good job, Mike. So good at this. Oh, just all pro. Oh god. Just Mike problems. Yeah, well, you know. I'm gonna test. Okay, here we go. I got something for you. Just a little some. Wait, why is it not? There you go. Just a little. Come over here for a second. Oh, come over here for a second. Yeah. It's my other drink. Gotta have 2 drinks. Here's the responsible drink. Really cool rogue armor. I think she'd be swimming in there. I think she'd be swimming. Okay, good. I was saying that. I thought it didn't save for some reason. Hardest question ever. Why have you not used pink as a color in your game? There's no pink. There's no pink? Oh, there kind of is. I think legendaries are red now, aren't they? They were pink for a while. Is there pink in the loot filter? It's pink? Oh, it's bows and boots, isn't it? Is that not pink enough? There's a couple pinkies. If you get the same buff from 2 players, will they stack in multiplayer? Maybe. It depends. Kinda, sometimes, sorta, possibly. If you have... So there's... I guess there's 3 types of buffs, really. 4 types of buffs, I guess. Oh, what am I doing? I thought the first one would be fun to tank, you know? Just start us off on a good note.
Do not stand in my way.
Don't ask. We'll get there. We'll get there. Okay. My cold res is really abysmal, and I need to do something about it before I can do this fight, I think. I don't think I can even survive it long enough without better cold res. So, our options are take the boots off. Don't want to do that. They're nice boots. Switch out some of our idols for more cold res. Switch out one of our other items for something with more cold res on it. Not huge on that because I don't have anything prepped. Level up more, I guess, is an option as well. Change some skills. Yeah.
Easy. Too easy.
We'll see what happens. Really dying is an option too? Yeah, it's an option. Okay, so multiplayer applying skill, applying buffs simultaneously. There's what did I say, 4 different types of buffs. There are standard ailments like haste, for example, which do not stack, no matter how you get them. So the answer is it works exactly the same in single player as it does in multiplayer. Is the easy answer. But I can go through the types of buffs that stack and don't stack in both. If you have so there's non-stacking elements. For example, haste. Haste is a non-stacking element. Doesn't matter how many times haste gets applied to you. Haste is haste is haste. And the most recent haste overrides the last one. Then there is stacking ailment buffs. So things like I don't know a good example. There's lots of stacking ailment buffs. Buffs and debuffs are the same thing for ailment stacking. So like there's some that stack to a cap, like slow stacks to a cap. Buffs, debuffs, same thing. Ignite has no cap, just stacks forever. So those ones will stack just like normal in multiplayer as they do in single player. There's also then on top of that some nodes that are just stat buffs that are granted. So it'll say like and they'll be non-stacking because they'll say things like if you have cast a fire ability recently 4 seconds, you have 50% increased cold damage, let's say. So 50% increased cold damage if you've cast a fire spell recently. And that's a binary, just have you completed this condition? Yes. Okay, go for it. You can do it, no problem.
This is a mercy.
And
do not stand in my way.
this. And then there's
This is a mercy.
and then there's stacking
Do not
normal
stand.
buffs. Those are also known as unnamed buffs. Those will just be things like nearby allies get 10 fire plus 10% fire damage.
This is a mercy.
And that just happens. There's no condition that happens to it. There's no like if something has happened recently.
Shatter. Do not stand in my way.
Oh come on.
This is a mercy. Shatter. Do not stand in my way. Rise, my fallen champions. Aid me. This is a mercy.
Oh no.
Shatter. Do not stand in my way. is a mercy. Shatter. Do not stand in my way.
So one of the go-to examples that we get as questions is, right, little extra smoke bomb hop there. One of the questions we get asked about a lot right now is Holy Aura. How does that stack? And currently Holy Aura stacks things that are different portions of Holy Aura stack. Oh! So if one person has Holy Aura that says plus attack speed, and one person has Holy Aura that says plus resistances, and both of them are active at once, you'll get both of those pieces. However, if both people have Holy Aura that says attack speed, but one's stronger than the other, it'll actually flick back and forth between the two constantly. Which is a little frustrating, and so we're still probably going to be making some minor changes to that.
Do not stand in my way. I did what I must to protect my people.
Let's go. I think that's what we take, isn't it? I know it's not the right thing to take long term, but I think that's what we take right now. It's just cold res. now that we need it so badly after that. Oh, we got there. Oh, where was it? Oh, it's right here. Yeah. Cold res 70. Pff, easy now. Let's go to the one that does necrotic damage. We probably want to do Reign of Dragons next. Is if we're gonna do these in like priority order. I should see if I have a bow that we could make a nice, or a quiver. So if we have a nice one, I kind of want to do that instead. I'll do one of these and see if we have one. Water. Drink lots of water. How's the passive reset button going? I know it's a top priority. We no one's working on it, I'll tell you that much. Make the game work in multiplayer is more of a priority. Any plans to add more voice acting? Yes. Possibly for things like blurbs when you first encounter a new timeline? Absolutely, yeah. Like, the voice acting that's in the game right now is fledgling. Be a good term for it.
Not happening.
I'm struggling with the heat in here. I should have got a fan going. The little one was napping when I was setting up though, and didn't want to risk waking them up. Frostbite is one of the most enjoyable elements in the game work. Frostbite is one of the most enjoyable ailments in game work with, because it has damage and utility effect with no cap. Will we see more potentially infinite investment builds in the future, or is this something you want to pull back for progression type builds? I mean, there's yes to both of those. I think there's certain parts of the infinite scaling of certain things that we do probably want to pull back on, but having the more interesting ailments in general is really good, and having those be able to go forever is generally really good as well. I think is the right answer to that question. You know what I haven't done on this on stream in a very long time is fought a Shade of Orbis. Unless we have something sweet to make into a legendary here, I think I might go fight a Shade. Just for fun. There's a dragon song in my head. There's attack speed there. I don't see any real standout quivers. There's a lot of random things in here. Oh no. Oh no. It's all of them. Right, that's the same as the first one. Oh! Don't need these things. Let's go find us a quiver, huh? Or a shade. If we see a shade, I'm gonna go for it. How about that? Not sure if these have ever been asked. I bet I can answer them without even reading the rest of that question. When it's ready, by 1.0 at the latest, and we're not sure yet. Oh, that's close. When it's multiplayer, when it's ready, it'll be next patch. When we're doing masteries by 1.0 at the latest. It's pretty nice, actually. We're getting performance get better. Every patch, performance gets better, and we'll continue to. I think a big thing to note about like our performance efforts up until now have been very ad hoc, very anecdote based, very like, oh, I thought I saw something that was bad here, or someone on the forums reported that this scene was really bad there, and now it's driven by tools that are designed to seek out and fix the really problematic situations.
Easy. Too easy.
Based on like actual metrics and real data that's like collected properly. It's a lot more effective, a lot less time intensive. Means we can get a lot more of it done, and there's a lot more people dedicated to it now than there was before. So before it was just like, oh, we found someone said this one was really bad, so we'll have someone flip onto that and just do it quick. Okay, great, that's better than it was. And now there's people that like their primary goal is just performance.
Not happening. Easy. Too easy.
And they're just slaying it. And as always, like, it's not gonna be the same for everyone. So I'm sure there's already people that are like, what performance problems? You know? Ding! Oh, yeah, there's new level up visuals that are way better. Like, these ones are nice, but the new ones are really nice. Like, I always forget these ones exist until I play on Fridays.
Not happening.
Oh, that's nice. A little 2 LP right shard. Yeah, you know, not bad, not bad. Alright, well I love the theming for each monolith timeline. After you get your blessings, it starts being problematic. The game has 100 plus maps, hundreds of enemies types, but each timeline only has 15-ish maps and 30-ish enemy pool. And he plans for a corruption farming island that mixes all maps and enemies for making the endgame grind blessings less repetitive. That's interesting. I don't think we've really gone over that idea. I think the hope was that we would be able to set it up so that even on the endgame grind it would be you'd still want to switch, but I guess the fundamental nature of corruption farming one timeline does cause it to really favor not doing that. I think it's a really good point. I think it's the sort of thing that would go really well on a suggestion post on the forums, eh? You guys talked about how you will address pool saturation. How to deal with pool saturation. Not sure what that is. Pool saturation. What do you mean by pool saturation? Like, I mean, so okay, like, do you mean like the fact that? I think the answer is economy resets through cycles and ladders, like ladder resets. I think that's the answer, but I'm not entirely sure what pool saturation is. Sorry.
Not happening.
Oh my goodness. No problem. Had it all along. But it's a good thing I wore my brown pants. The character in game. See, they're brown. See? Mine are green. Haha.
Easy. Too easy.
Our cycle is going to be themed based on main bosses from Ancient Era, 5 uniques based on Ancient Era style. Make this happen. Cycles will have. I don't. Short answer is I don't know really. It's a cool suggestion, but having specific, like 5 uniques in a single cycle seems pretty light to me. I'll say that. I think it's fine for most part, but degenerates like me do like 400 maps a day, same 15 layouts rip. Yeah, there needs to be. I do think you're an extreme case, Lizard. Like you're definitely an extreme case. That doesn't count. That doesn't make it any less valid or important. I think that we need to have ways to make individual echoes more interesting in general, and I don't think that's a mystery or surprise or anything. Is 1.0 cycle 1? They might not line up perfectly. Like we might do. Answer is I don't know yet, but I think what might happen, if I was gonna guess, is say 1.0 will drop, and then once we're sure things are stable, we'll start cycle 1. Because we don't want to have the internet hug of death wreck the start of cycle 1. Unless we're like really confident, because everything's going so well in testing. Maybe we will start it right away. I don't know. That'll be a decision for someone smarter and more experienced than me. And will likely be heavily influenced by all of your feedback. Alright, go ahead. I make a paragraph statement with examples to help my points along, because typing the grammar isn't my best suite. Sorry. Item pool saturation when build design. Even with reset won't change the fact we can target farm and get uniques fast, and most with LP pretty easily. So rares exalted tend to fall off over time entirely in favor for builds with only LP uniques, which I see becoming a huge problem in the future. Okay, I see what you're saying. So like, best in slot gear for most builds will be like, you can define it by like a 4LP unique in the slot with a specific very high level exalted item to go with it. I think that's the key there, is that exalted, as long as like legendaries are valuable, so are uniques and exalteds. Just intrinsically, those two things are valuable together. So exalteds won't ever fall off as long as legendaries don't fall off, you know? Like, I think that set items do need something to stay relevant. I think there's other ways we can do things to help keep other items relevant. So you can have kind of meta items like Singularity's not really a great example of that. I mean, if you only have one equipped, sort of what I was getting at there. So like, you can have items where it's like plus you do double damage if you have no unique or legendary items equipped, or something weird like that. You know, like if you have only set items equipped with your entire character, you do triple damage. I don't know, something weird like that. And I think there's ways you can build that into items that enable certain playstyles and certain builds through like different itemizations. Or like set items, like some weird thing where set items get their, like, need one less item to complete their set bonuses or something. That's a Diablo 3 item. But yeah, like I think there's things like that you can do to incentivize more diversity there, just through new items. But yeah, I agree that eventually for long-term play, if you're playing for a ton of time, not going through cycle resets, yeah, eventually you'll have these ridiculous builds of characters that have like big legendaries. I don't think it's a bad thing, really. There has to be a tail. There has to be like an end in sight, I think, or else there's the if there's no end in sight, I think the like gear. What am I doing? I'm done this one. The gear progression becomes a little difficult to quantify, I guess I want to say. So I think, like I said in the original answer, that was just kind of a guess at the question mostly. I think the answer is cycles, really. Blizzard again. I agree maps need more stuff, but I feel it's a dangerous topic. Exploring maps in Last Epoch is pretty tedious. Maps are big, characters are slow, dashes on cooldowns. You've talked about more exploration, but I hope if a map has something for me to find, I know when I enter the map, and I don't have to full explore a map to find nothing. So this is actually an interesting topic that we have talked about, and maybe it's not maybe it is guaranteed, maybe it's not guaranteed, maybe it's not guaranteed, but implied that there's more of it or something like that. Maybe there's like, maybe that's the reward. Maybe that's the special echo reward in that one, where it's like there's a high concentration of this extra random event to happen. There's a higher probability of this random event to happen in this zone. And so you know, like, okay, this is a good one to explore. And so you explore that one in particular instead of just like always exploring all of them in hopes that you get it, or just randomly stumbling across it sometimes. So you definitely got that's a very good point, and I agree. We're aware of it. This island has treasure on it to find. Yeah. You might find treasure on 1 out of 100 desert islands. I think that would be a low, like, yeah, like maybe the default number is 1 out of 100, but the ones that say it's like 1 out of 5 or something, or 1 out of 3. Or the ones that say that can have anywhere from like 0 to 4 of them or something. I don't know. Like, maybe every once in a while you won't find with any, but sometimes you'll find with multiples on those ones that are like spiked to have them. And just so you know that like this is like a good one to search, but you can always search if you want, and there's always a chance or something. I don't know. This is sort of we're into hypothetical big time, but yes, I definitely agree there needs to be some sort of communication to the player, so you're not like full clearing every single one in the hopes of finding these. Have you thought about if a person takes the time to fill a stability bar within a monolith to increase the unique objective reward payout? As people choose to go fast through and get reward fast, get more of it when playing. You know, yeah. Sorry, the last little bit of that was, you know, that the more you kill, the more you get out of the chest. And yeah, I know you know that. I seem to do that. But yes, we have talked about that. We wanted to keep the rewards, the initial goal was to keep the static rewards like that come out of this swirly special echo reward stone thing to be static and not based on how much you kill. And this to be the scaling. So 1 static and 1 scaling reward. Who knows if that's successful enough? Oh, look what I found. Look what I found. We're gonna do that. Ellie has such meaningful combat while exploration is tedious in PoE. It takes 5 seconds to clear Fog of War, so even if you find nothing, it doesn't feel that bad. You think Last Epoch, on the other hand... Maybe there needs to be a backtrack bonus for movement speed. How do you detect backtracking?
Not happening.
Oh! Okay. That was a bigger hit. Thank you, someone! Kessel Hawkthorn! 10-month resub. Very nice. Thank you very much. Glad to have you with us. Ooh, Mike, so suave, so handsome. Grinding those crucial monos poggers. Why, thank you. Will monolith progression be shared between party members? Right now, we don't have shared monolith progression between characters, so it would feel even worse. We're still working exactly on how that's all going to happen. It's really tricky to have that function nicely without be horribly exploitable. And right now we're kind of leaning on more on the side of have it function nicely and let it be a little bit exploitable, than have it be less fun to play and not be exploitable. If that makes any sense. We think that's the more fun thing. It's going to be based on a lot of feedback for sure, especially early feedback. But the short answer is, if you're like, one thing I know we're planning for sure is there's a bit of a disconnect here with the way it's set up and the way we want it to be and the way it works and everything. And so if you're in a group and you all complete the monolith together and you all get the reward together, and you exit that monolith, you've all unlocked that, you've all completed that monolith, and you've all unlocked the next one. Like that's happening at the very least. All right, let's do this. Let's do this. Hello? Oh!
An eternity of pain.
Pain, eh? Yeep! My void res is terrible. What have I done? Jesus. It's a little on the chaotic side right now. Oh. No problem. Got it done. Oh my god, the ring! Has anyone ever got that ring before? D2 is actually similar. You get an Enigma, TP, you do Zone X, Lightning Fist, you don't, you go to the pits. Why no backtrack? Yeah, there's definitely backtracking in D2 if you don't have, well, if you have anything. There's definitely backtracking. You get really good and you learn layouts a bit, and you can avoid some backtracking, but like, start farming keys and tell me there's no backtracking. Oh, it is. It's really hot. Let's do a water break. Haven't played in a while. Any plans to add resizable text for drops? We haven't started working on UI scaling yet, but that's a fairly requested item. I think that would fall in the accessibility category, which is being started to be worked on. There's lots of accessibility issues right now that we need to address, and that includes all sorts of things like text size, colorblind. Like more generic controller mapping. It's a lot of added fire damage there. What else is in there? Subtitles. Got a passive. Let's just go a little bit more dodge rating. A little bit more dodge rating. Four minutes left. I was gonna do another jewelry kill, but I don't think we'll make it there. Okay, now my speedrun senses are tingling. What about campaign quest? We'll be able to TP to someone further in the campaign? Yeah. Yeah, you'll be able to bring people up. Oh, let me rephrase that. The way it is now, you can bring people up. You can rush people. There are campaign rewards that are quite useful to have.
Not happening. Not happening.
Yeah, if you just get portal directly to monoliths, like if someone just takes you directly to end of time, like at level 1, you miss out on a lot of like you miss out on all of your passives, all of your idle quests.
Might have to drop something.
You're kind of stuck with a significant disadvantage in having to go back anyways. And yeah, it's faster to go to go back once you're higher level and everything. And that's also part of the reason why we have multiple places you can get those idle quests and passive quests completed at throughout the timeline, so you can pick the ones you like the most. And there we go. Get that XP. Still struggling to get that level up, eh? It's 93. It is pretty high level, actually. Well, I had a ton of fun playing Bow Mage. I think it's a dynamic playstyle. Lots of cool stuff it does. Tons of DPS output, which is great. This is me trying to get that cold res that I need. Like, cold res, I need it. Just barely got there in the end. Yeah, we will be back again next week. Same time, same place, as always. If you have any questions I didn't answer, because I'm a jerk and I missed them, I apologize. But I'll be happy to answer them in our Discord, Ask the Devs channel. You can head, if you don't like that, you can go to Reddit, forums, other places. There's people all over the place answering questions. If you've got them, we'll try our best to answer them. Let me see who's on. Lots of people on right now. Here, haven't seen this one in a while. Don't know where you've been. Okay, well, that'll about do it for me today. I hope you had fun. I know I did. As always, I'll be here next week. Next week we'll have a special lore master special guest that will be here. Yeah, if you have any lore questions that you want to get answered, please head on over to our Discord Ask the Devs channel. Just put like, this is a lore question for Friday's stream. Or if you are going to be there next time, just bring the questions to the stream itself. Super happy to have any of that there. The person I'm bringing's one of the absolute original people that was working on the project. He was here before I was. He's this is day one person here. So we'll get lots of great answers, which is awesome. I hope to see everyone there. I will see you next time. I hope you have a great day. Drink lots of water. It's too hot to not drink water. Drink lots of water. Please.